Thank you, Mike and Bill. We welcome you to the American Airlines Center with Mark Jones and Tom Tolbert. 4 minutes in, Game 3, series even at 1. Of course, Phoenix won Game 1 by 25. Dallas winning Game 2 at America West by 2. Big story this far early. They established Eric Dampier early with a couple of hoops, but Dampier is out. He just picked up his second personal foul. Top scorers, Amari Stoudemire 6. Dampier on the bench with 4. Josh Howard makes the jumper, and Dallas is back on top, 12-11. What have you seen so far, Tommy, in the first 4.5?
Well, I've seen a lot of the start. Amari Stoudemire made a couple buckets inside, as usual, getting to the free throw line there. And just basically what you'd expect out of Dallas and Phoenix. Getting up and down, you see the lineups, Richardson, Marion, Stoudemire, Nash, and Jackson for Phoenix. Nowitzki, Howard, Henderson, Terry, and Finley.
That's our Bud Light on the floor. Allen Henderson in because of the 2 fouls to Dampier, and Jim Jackson starts for Joe Johnson. The displaced fracture of the orbital bone over his left eye, that nasty fall after the foul in the final 19 seconds of the second quarter of Game 2. Surgery Thursday. Mark Jones will update us on the status of Joe Johnson for the rest of the playoffs and this series momentarily.
I think a couple keys for Phoenix. Steve Nash staying out of foul trouble, and Leandro Barbosa. When he comes in the game, I'm sure Coach D'Antoni is concerned not with his offense, because he can score, but just defensive assignments, not missing defensive assignments and giving easy buckets.
Nowitzki and Terry play the two-man game. Here is Dirk with the game winner in Game 2, finding Terry. Jason Terry, who was outstanding in the Houston series, hasn't really gotten his offense going yet in this series, but had a good fourth quarter as Dallas came back against Phoenix to even the series. Now a best of 5. 3 of the 5 we played here in Dallas. And Allen Henderson, the former Indiana Hoosier, gets the rebound. Finley, who had 31, including 20 in the second half of Game 2. Nowitzki has Richardson, taking him in, and draws the foul on Quinton. Let's join Mark Jones.
Well, guys, Joe Johnson of the Phoenix Suns underwent surgery a couple days ago. He went home from the hospital today to get under the care of his mother at his home there in Phoenix. Now, doctors inserted a titanium plate, and Brian Colangelo, the general manager of the Suns, told me that early next week they're hoping to get a mask together, put a mask together in preparation as a precautionary measure for when he comes back to start playing again. Johnson told Colangelo, you know they can't keep me out for long, Brian. And guys, Jimmy Jackson in his place tonight starting. Nash called Jackson the team's MVP during their last series against Memphis, Mike.
And especially his last 2 games, he was terrific, Mark. He just missed his first field goal attempt of the night. Jason Terry's hoop has made it a 3-point Dallas lead. A lot of dirt on the box early on.
Well, certainly has an advantage against anybody in the Suns lineup down on that block. And he's doing that more this series than he did last series, or for that matter, the entire year.
Now, Dirk told me this morning, bronchitis really slowed him down. He didn't make an excuse, but he was fighting a really nasty cold and virus, in addition to the good defense from McGrady et al. In that series. Jackson on the board with his first field goal. Amari Stoudemire has 8 of the Phoenix 15. The Mavs have opened a scorching 9 of 15 here at home. Michael Finley against Jim Jackson. Now a Mav and a Sun. They used to play for the other teams. Draws the foul. We'll get some free throws. Well, the coach of the year in the NBA, Mike D'Antoni. And hey, he's the coach of the year. Let's get it right. It's D'Antoni. Not D'Antoni. It's Mike D'Antoni. Of course, a terrific player and coach in his days over in the Italian League. Had Denver back in '99, the lockout-shortened season, 14-36, and Dan Issel came down. I was given the ability to be the president, general manager, and head coach. Mike didn't hook on, so as recent as 4 or 5 years ago, he was trying to find a place in the league for his skills, his coaching ability. Didn't have it, went back to Italy. Didn't feel like it was fulfilling enough because he had been there and done it. Ended up hooking on his Phoenix staff, and then back in December of '03 when Frank Johnson was replaced, D'Antoni moved over 1 chair to the head coach, and this year let him run to 62 wins, tying a franchise record.
Well, I asked him when he got off to that 31-4 start, what did he think about it? And he said, just don't screw it up.
He is very selfless, but very integral to the success. Nowitzki showed the 3, teed up Finley for 1. Michael Finley's hit a couple. If you hear a noise when the balls hit the rim, the microphones placed on the basket are cranked up tonight. Every shot, I'm hearing this clank here in the building over the PA system, as you heard the sweet music of the swish there, to get Phoenix back to within 2.
Well, you don't hear too many clanks in this series.
No.
It's mostly... You notice that last time down the court, they do that better than any team in the league, Phoenix, throw-aheads. That's something you have to guard against, the throw-aheads on the fast break.
Sean Marion doing the job on Nowitzki defensively, but Henderson inside cleans up. Alan Henderson, who has only 1 bucket thus far in this series, makes it 2. Nash couldn't find Marion. Terry on the run. Jim Jackson back.
Both these teams have done a pretty good job taking care of the ball. And with how explosive both offenses are, a premium on taking care of the ball. You don't want to make it any easier than it has to be.
Marion rattles home a 3. Boy, he's heaping great in the playoffs. Yeah. 2.5 points over his average and a rebound and a half ahead of his regular season average.
Double-double every game. I mean, he has been unbelievable. Although based on the looks of the shot, he'd be the last guy picked on the playground.
Henderson with the pick and roll with Terry. Couldn't squeeze it. Stoudemire takes it away. Henderson draws the foul called by Eddie F. Rush. And not agreed by the Phoenix side.
I think that was a bogus call, to be honest with you. He didn't even call it until he fell down. I think he may agree with me.
That's what he's saying. He's saying trying to get Eddie's attention so he can say no, but then he's not going to make eye contact.
He didn't call it until he fell down. It's like he hit him, and then all of a sudden he fell down, and he didn't extend his elbows out. He was just, protecting his space. Let's see if he extends the elbows to hit him in the face. He has the ball. I'm still not buying that one.
Still, it is a foul. It's on Stoudemire, and it's important for Phoenix to stay out of foul trouble, please, here tonight. This Tom didn't agree. Phoenix shooting 50% from the field, but Dallas 58% in the opening 8.5.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. Xerox, helping your business grow in unexpected ways. And thank you from Citi.
Avery Johnson's Mavs have 7 more rebounds than Phoenix in the early going, lead by 3. Here with 3.5 left in the opening quarter. Tom Tolbert saw a great game last night. Seattle, San Antonio. We had a good finish with Indiana, Detroit. And here we are, another important game 3. And 3/4 of the series that were 1-1 are won by the team that wins game 3. Have you seen the first 2 games as it sets the table for tonight?
Well, I thought Dallas did a much better job in game 2 of attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line, posting guys up, not settling for outside jump shots. I think Phoenix kind of got away from their game plan a little bit in game 2 by trying to pick out matchups that they wanted to go to. They have the best mismatch in the league. That's a pick and roll between Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire. That's always a mismatch, but I'm not surprised. This could be a series, Mike, where you have 3 road wins in the series. Both of these teams were excellent on the road. 31-10 for the Phoenix Suns on the road, and I think the Mavericks had the exact same record at home that they did on the road.
Exactly, 29-12 as they work to 58 wins. These are 2 teams that combined to win 120 games this year. Very high-level second-round series. 10 to shoot for Nowitzki, watched by Stoudemire this time. Nice contact drawn by Dirk, but he cannot get the shot to go. Stackhouse off the bench, gets the board. Over his buddy Nash. Nowitzki misses again. Dirk is 2 of 7 out of the gate here tonight.
And so far, Dallas doing a nice job on the offensive glass, 5-0 over Phoenix.
Sean Marion has 1, misses the second 3. Stackhouse the rebound. Leandro Barbosa has come in for Phoenix, number 10. The third-year man out of Brazil, very important to this team now. Stackhouse missed his first shot. Foul. Barbosa will pick it up, his first. And you want to get all the playoff gear that you need, you can do it by logging on. NBAstore.com, Suns and Mavs playoff gear. You can suit your little one or the big one in the family. Suit them up for the rest of the postseason run. NBAstore.com.
The offensive rebounds in a series like this become huge because you just get more opportunities to score. A lot of times in a series like this, just whoever has the most field goal attempts is going to win a basketball game. They already have 6 offensive rebounds to none for Phoenix, and have done a good job converting them into 6 points.
5-point Dallas lead. Quentin Richardson joins Leandro Barbosa, Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, who takes that shot, makes it. That's the first outside shot he's hit in the last game and a quarter, and give Amari 10 to lead all scorers right now.
And he has that shot. He's not ultra consistent with it, but he has that 15 to 17-foot jump shot, and he's just going to get better with that shot. When that shot's down, I don't know if it'll ever be good as Karl Malone's was at the end of his career, but if it is, you can forget about it with this guy for about 10 years.
Off the ball, we have a foul. That's Barbosa's second, and again, foul trouble a concern for Phoenix because they are not deep without Joe Johnson. And that will put the Mavs at the free throw line. Dallas, a very good shooting team, 4th in the regular season at 79%. One of the nice things about this series, there's so many storylines for two teams that had never met in the playoffs. Finley is one, drafted by Phoenix back in '95. Of course, you have Steve Nash, who played with Nowitzki in Dallas for so many years with so much success. We talked about the importance of Jim Jackson in this game tonight, obviously with Jamal Mashburn and Jason Kidd. The 3 J's here in Dallas looked like that was going to be something to build on for a while. The former Mav Nash, who got a great hand from the crowd, missed the 3, and back comes Stackhouse the other way. Good job by Barbosa defending the pick and roll. Marion on the run. Daniels came back and knocked it away. Phoenix ball with plenty of time to shoot.
You see the speed of the Phoenix Suns getting out. I mean, as soon as they go, they usually have 3 guys minimum running with them. That was a nice job by Howard knocking the ball away and retreating on defense. But I think last time, I would go under on these pick and rolls and make Steve Nash a scorer. Make him shoot 20 times. He can do it. Last game, 23 points, 13 rebounds, or 13 assists, excuse me. The guy's got a great left. He's got an unbelievable left. But I think if you make him shoot the ball, you take away from everybody else getting into rhythm, feeling good, and he would rather pass than shoot. And you'd always like to make a player do something they'd rather not do.
In game 2, he took 22 shots. Second time this year, he had over 20 field goal attempts. 3-point game, minute 10 left here in the quarter. The double on Stackhouse. Daniels with a shot clock running down. Didn't hit the rim. 4-on-2 Phoenix with Barbosa and Nash. The feed to Marion. Give Nash 5 assists to go with his 4 points in the early going.
You don't see too many 4-on-2s. Yeah. Usually on offense, you won't run that many guys, but there's not one guy on the court right now for the Phoenix Suns that won't get in or won't get up and fill a wing on the fast break.
Look at this. This is beauty in basketball. Henderson tried to throw it down on Stoudemire, who's denied. Phoenix can take the lead. Barbosa draws the foul on Josh Howard. And you know what, Tom? Barbosa being involved here early with a couple of fouls, couple of rebounds, good defense, that turnover there. That's important because he's going to be confident in the flow early on. And Mike D'Antoni told me this morning, early Leandro confidence could be important.
Oh, there's no question. When you're a young player, you want to come in early and do something positive, have some sort of success, and he's had that success. Like I'll go back to what I said earlier. With him, it's defensively. Does he know his assignments? And look right here. I mean, this whole team is just go, go, go. Nice job of forcing the issue and drawing the foul from Josh Howard, getting himself to the free throw line. But with him, it's more, is he going to be able to defensively in the second half if he needs him? Not miss assignments, not let guys get wide open shots. That'll be something to look for as the game goes on.
Barbosa, age 22 from Brazil. He was introduced to basketball by his brother Arturo, who represents Brazil. He's a member of their Special Forces unit. Soccer was his game, as so many. Grew up in the very populated city of Sao Paulo. Now in his second year in the NBA, a late first-round pick by San Antonio. Traded to Phoenix on the night of the draft a couple of years ago.
See a lot of switching on pick and rolls. Everybody feels like they can just match up with anybody.
Dirk gets to the cup. Third field goal in 8 tries.
And Dallas has just passed Detroit's output for the first half.
Barbosa off the rim, missed it. Quick shot with the clock running down. Leads to a 2-on-1. Down by Daniels. Still time to get one more for Phoenix. Nash had it knocked away. No shot. End of the quarter. So a nice closeout of the quarter. Those are so important in the playoffs. And Avery Johnson's team did it well here in the first. Dallas shoots 13 of 26 from the field. Each team 50%. Mavs led by as many as 6. Daniels the last hoop of the quarter. Mavs by 4. Game 3. Quarter 2 here at American Airlines Center. Amari Stoudemire's had a great season. A third season in the NBA right out of high school. But what a playoffs he's had for Mike D'Antoni.
You have to marvel at the way that he can stop on a dime, catch the ball, finish, and then he has the power and athleticism after that. But as he gets older and learns the double teams and learns to put the ball on the floor a little bit better, or the outside shot, it keeps improving, he's going to be unguardable. He's almost there right now.
He had 94 points in the regular season against Dallas in 3 games. 40 in game 1, 30 in game 2, as you saw. He'll start this second quarter out on the bench after a 10-point first quarter, Tom.
Oh, he's unbelievable. We talked about it earlier. He's quicker than everybody that guards him. He's stronger than everybody that guards him. He's like Tigger out there. I mean, you want to talk about the guy that just bounce. I mean, he's so quick and so strong on the jump. He's worked on his outside game. You can tell that. He can hit that shot. You come out and guard him, he goes around you. But the one thing I've been most impressed with are the 16 rebounds per game. That's something I think he can do and should do. Tonight, only 1 rebound, and the Mavericks are taking advantage with 6 offensive rebounds. That's just something they have to take care of. Run a little zone here and see if Dallas can figure it out. Maybe try to hit one of the creases.
Without Stoudemire in, Stephen Hunter is the big on the floor in the middle. Terry, Dallas has not made a 3 here tonight. The rebound comes right to Michael Finley. It's Finley, Terry, Daniels screaming for the ball, Stackhouse and Nowitzki. And here is Stack. Again, he is off the mark.
2 times now against the zone. Just pass it around the perimeter and shoot a shot. You want to attack the creases of the zone, collapse the zone, and then kick out for jump shots.
Nash tried to feed it in. Nowitzki knocked it away. Jim Clark says it was a kick. Dirk disagrees. We have a veteran officiating crew. Eddie F. Rush, Jim Clark in his 17th year has worked over 70 playoff games. And Sean Corbin, 12th year in the league. And he's worked most of the nights that officials have worked here in the playoffs this year. A post-up for Hunter. The 4th-year man out of DePaul kicked it out to Barbosa. Nice pitch to Marion. And he can't convert, and here's Finley. Interesting to watch Nash and Barbosa play together, essentially the 2 point guards, with one sliding over to the 2 and Barbosa.
Yeah, although I'm not really sure they figured out what Leandro Barbosa is. An off guard or a point guard. Maybe he's just a guard. Maybe he's a third guard on your team that comes off the bench. You can sub in for 1 or 2.
6 equals the largest lead of the night for Dallas. Nash shoots over Finley. He's off the mark. Jason Terry's been very active. Pushing the ball. Pick to Finley. Hasn't had an open shot go from 3. Misses that too. Daniels soars over Jim Jackson to ingest the rebound.
He's sneaky long.
8 offensive rebounds. Leads to a bang in the bucket for Daniels. There you go. Offensive boards for Avery's team.
Absolutely getting destroyed on the offensive glass. Nice job right here, shielding himself with the rim, using his body. Hey, watch right here, staying between Hunter. Now use the rim. Use the rim to shield himself, gets the bucket and goes. I mean, Marquise Daniels is the guy that when Nelly was here, played a lot more, had more, I guess, offensive chances, had some big games. I mean, this is the guy that can get you 20, 25 points. I mean, he's that talented offensively. He hasn't really had the chance as much under Avery Johnson, but he does it kind of slow. You know, he doesn't do anything super quick, but you look at the scoreboard and all of a sudden you see him have 10, 15 points.
8-point lead, largest for Dallas. Nash sits, Stoudemire comes back in. Marion feeds him, pass to Barbosa was late. Richardson catches and is off on a 3. Stoudemire got the offensive board, and hold on underneath the big fella.
Get out of the way. He was right under the bucket. No time to gather. Straight up, punch.
Daniels. Does it help the home team to hear loudly when they clang it off the rim?
I really don't know if they're paying attention to that.
Barbosa. Stoudemire. Look outside! Oh! Man alive.
This guy has about 8 posters a night. It's absolutely incredible.
Nowitzki in response. Got fouled on the way in. Mike Michael Finley's trying to make sure that that's called on Stoudemire, and let's see. A technical foul was called by Eddie F. Rush on Stoudemire. I don't know if it was for taunting as he was standing over Nowitzki who had fallen down. And Eddie F. is running a tight ship tonight. I'm not going to listen. That's it. So the personal and the technical on Stoudemire. He has 2 fouls. And Nowitzki, 12th best shooter in the league, makes the free throw.
Well, Nowitzki just got shoved in the back right here. Goes up, kind of bounces off Amari Stoudemire. I'm not sure, was that what he got the tech for?
I thought it was for standing over him afterwards, but it didn't look like he was standing over him. It looked like he just turned around. Michael Finley came right in and tried to call attention to, I guess, what was the bump. And now Eddie F. is talking about it with Amari Stoudemire. Of course, we had what was called a flagrant 1 when Joe Johnson was hurt, as Jerry Stackhouse went up for the block in Game 2 of this series. The league office, as they do with every flagrant foul, reviewed it and rescinded the flagrant foul. It was just ruled as a regular personal foul on Stackhouse. So the fine and the points that accumulate separately from the regular season for postseason flagrant fouls, not added to Stackhouse's total.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you can't rescind the free throws that they make.
That's right.
Because of the flagrant foul. I just think sometimes they get too caught up.
Stoudemire was fouled as he went up for that offensive rebound.
In the flagrant foul situations, too caught up in the result, not the action. Well, they must be calling a good game because everybody's angry.
That's right. Well, Dampier, who came in for a couple of minutes with 2, right away picks up 3. And again, he cannot be effective if he's in foul trouble. And that's what he's been almost every game here in this series. In the playoffs, for that matter, really.
Well, you get yourself into foul trouble by reacting late, letting somebody get offensive rebounds or good position, then you have to climb their back, and you put yourself in a position to pick up those sort of fouls. I mean, a lot of times it's not a result of what you do to get the foul, it's what you do to position yourself before the foul to keep yourself out of foul trouble.
Speaking to what Mike D'Antoni said before, there's the progression of points. Stoudemire was 5th in the league in points scored this season. He's at 27 a game in the postseason. That's nearly half, 16 of the Phoenix 33. So big story for Dallas. 3 fouls on their starting center, Dampier, who plays only 5 minutes and gives them 4 points in the first half. This goes back like the rest of the playoffs. Dampier in foul trouble.
Tough shot.
By Finley, who missed. Michael is 2 of 6. Nowitzki 3 of 8. Yet the Mavs are still shooting 45%. Sean Marion has 1 3. Give him another one.
Well, aside from the fact that they run like demons and get out and can all shoot, they're probably the best draw and pitch team in the league. They can all put the ball on the ground. They can all make the defense collapse, and then they kick over to the weak side like they just did for a wide-open jump shot. I mean, there's really not a lot you can do to keep them from getting open shots on the perimeter.
Nowitzki reposts on Marion, 3 to shoot. The double comes, he goes the other way. Stoudemire, that is not called goaltending. Wow. 1 to shoot. And we'll have a timeout here.
Really?
Dirk is asking Jim Clark, how is that not goaltending? Ah, you love it. Series tied at 1. Nobody's happy with any whistle. The spin.
That's a good call. That's a good call. You want to talk about a guy that once he gets it around the hoop, it's look out. Why bother? Jerry Stackhouse, just get me out of the way. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump.
2-point game in Dallas. 8-3.
Saunders and Tim Legler are back in New York with the Taco Bell update, and quite a victory for the Indiana Pacers.
And this possession here pretty much sealed the deal. Lack of communication right there in that isolation for Tayshaun Prince, and then you know who you're going to go to. Reggie Miller might have got away with a little push-off, but that's okay in that situation. Great move, big shot, as usual. Reggie Miller seals the deal. I thought the elbow came out. A lot of times it's going to be called, but that's Reggie Miller. It's the playoffs.
You would know as a shooter. The Heat and the Wizards, well, more on ABC. The Heat will have a chance to wrap that one up. Don't look for Shaquille O'Neal, not likely. And the Pacers now leading 2-1, heading to Game 4 there. Mike.
right, John, thank you. The PGA Tour is in town here this weekend in Dallas at the Byron Nelson Classic. There's Phil Mickelson and his wife, Amy. Amy was a Phoenix Suns dance team member when those guys met when Phil was at Arizona State. And there's 98 Masters and British Open champion Mark O'Meara, who is very good friends with Tiger Woods. I spoke to Mark a little bit ago. Tiger over in Dallas missing the cut at the Byron Nelson. First missed cut in 142 consecutive events. That's the all-time PGA Tour record that came to an end here in town today. Amari Stoudemire continuing to put up the dominating numbers, 16 of the Phoenix 36, Tom.
You know what's great about watching this game, and you know he's got 3 offensive rebounds since he came back off the bench, doing a nice job. Nash taking a little nap over there. What's fun about watching this game is that gonna?
There was one to shoot on the inbounds. Nowitzki got rid of it. But
I was like, is that gonna
violation.
go? In this series, you never know. You expect stuff like that to go. But we have 74 total points in the game and only 5 turnovers. And it's just so fun to watch this game because they go up and down. It's not a sloppy game. And the reason they don't turn the ball over much is they don't let the defense set up. They get into their offense so quickly they can all handle the ball, and the defense doesn't have time to set up. You get off a shot before they do, and you don't turn it over.
Stoudemire with the move, and he's going to come to the free throw line where he's already had 6 attempts thus far. Mark Jones.
Yeah, guys, Amari Stoudemire, we talked about his improvement in his perimeter jump shooting. Well, assistant coach Phil Weber has worked with him, and one day he actually showed Stoudemire a picture of himself taking a jump shot in the newspaper. He said, look, Amari, look at your release point. It's perfect. You've got to keep it there all the time instead of having it all over the place. That's why you miss sometimes. He said, how else are these media guys going to take your picture? Guys, the moral of the story is he appealed to Stoudemire's ego. It stuck. And he's been making jumpers ever since. What a story. Back to you.
Whatever works these days, right? Phil Weber was a walk-on, rather a redshirt, I should say, on the Jim Valvano NC State team that won the championship in Albuquerque in 1983. Good coach along with Mark Ivoroni, Alvin Gentry on Mike D'Antoni's staff. Nowitzki trying to get his offense going, looking for the foul, not called on Stoudemire. Back comes Barbosa with the finish.
You can't stop and look. And you have to get back. Whether you think you've been fouled, it doesn't matter. You have to hustle back on defense and see if you can help out.
Henderson rolls, but had nothing going. Richardson was there defensively. 12 to shoot for the Mavs, who've gone a little quiet here. Howard lost it on the way up because of the foul, and they'll get 2 free throws. You talk about the quickness of Phoenix.
Oh, I mean, they all go. See right here, they're gone. Your power forward running the show off to your point guard. You don't see that very often. I mean, they all can take the ball, maybe aside from Amari Stoudemire, who can handle it better than most centers in the league, although he's power forward playing center. But you got 4 guys on the court that when they get rebounds, they can lead their own fast break.
One more coming for Howard. Let me set the lineup for the weekend for you on ABC tomorrow night. Heat and Wizards, 8 Eastern, our coverage begins. Then Detroit, Indiana, the champs down 2-1. That's Sunday, 3:30 on ABC. TNT, Sunday night, San Antonio, Seattle. That's a 4 o'clock start out in the Northwest. And then game 4 of this series will be 8:30 Central here in Dallas, 9:30 Eastern time. We'll be in the studio for the ABC doubleheader Saturday and Sunday. We'll be joined by Grant Hill. Bill Walton, Snapper Jones, and myself look forward to Grant's insight on these playoff series as we've had a strange turn in the East. Stoudemire is going to come to the line again, fouled by Sean Bradley in Sean's first 8 seconds on the floor. Bradley, who did not play in game 2 and played in just the stat sheet stuff in time at the end of the 4th quarter of game 1.
If you're going to stop Amari Stoudemire on the pick and roll, you have to get to him early. Once he gets a couple steps of momentum and he catches that ball, you really have no choice but to foul him or get dunked on.
Would change that foul call. Gave it to Nowitzki, not Bradley. Both bumped. First contact by Dirk. His first, and Stoudemire's missed his first free throws the last 2 times. Wonder if Phil thought of that little move at the free throw line when he missed that free throw. Missed them both. 7 of 10 from the stripe. Free throw attempts are even tonight. Lopsided Phoenix's way in game 1. Terry looking more for his offense here tonight. Has 8. Nowitzki has 9. They top Dallas in the score column. Mavericks by 3.
Well, Dallas making a concerted effort to try and get into the paint. The last 3 times down. Only scored once, but it shows dividends by getting to a free throw line.
Mavericks will take over on the turnover. They were trying to involve Sean Bradley in the pick and roll there. See if Nowitzki can get going. He's been very aggressive looking for a shot. 3 of 11, though, from the field. Now he draws Walter McCarty as the defensive assignment.
Well, I've just been impressed with the way they've... Oh, please. That's... Go ahead and fire that one up there. Avery might grab him right from behind and take him off.
Nowitzki right at McCarty. Oh. Bradley the rebound. Phoenix ball.
It's about 4 or 5 times in a row, though, they've got to the paint. They can get to the paint when they want to against Phoenix. I almost had Nelly flashbacks when Manu was shooting threes for us at Golden State.
Quentin Richardson.
Oh.
A man who made as many threes as anybody in the league and took more than anyone else. Gets the friendly bounce. Our game squared at 42.
The Charmin-type touch from outside. Once again, in the paint. And they're not making them, but if they continue to be aggressive, get to the paint, it's going to bode well for the Dallas Mavericks.
That's a Phoenix fast break. Even though Jackson didn't hit the 3, a battle for the rebound. It is off Nowitzki. Stoudemire and Nowitzki have a really good battle brewing here. We all get the feeling this one's going to go a while. 5, 6, or 7 games. It is fun to watch these two All-Stars going head-to-head here in the series. 3 of 12 from the field is Nowitzki. Finley also struggling. Get the Mavs all square with Phoenix. Game 3.
You're watching the 2005 NBA Playoffs on ESPN. ESPN's presentation of the NBA Playoffs, brought to you by Hummer. Check out the new H3. Hummer, like nothing else. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
With Mark Jones and Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico, Game 3, best of 7 Western Conference semifinals. Series even at 1, game even at 42 apiece. Those of you just tuning in, let's check the Hummer game track, and humming along once again, Amari Stoudemire. 10 free throw attempts in the game, 34 in the prior 2 games. Nowitzki and Dallas have been cold here in this second quarter. Dirk has missed 9 of his 12 attempts. Amari 7 field goal attempts, and he's been fouled in the act 5 times. And Jerry Stackhouse wisely did not foul in the act that time. That's part of how we've gotten to 42 all. Tom, Dallas is just 3 of 14 this quarter. A couple of layups, some shots in the paint. But if you're Avery Johnson, you still feel okay about where you are right now.
Absolutely. You're getting good looks at the bucket. You're missing some very makeable shots. Those are shots that if you keep getting them, the percentages bear out. You're going to start making those shots.
Mavericks are 0 of 6 shooting the 3. Nash trying to feed Stoudemire. Good hustle, the overplay by Howard. Goes all the way and got it to go. So Howard, much smaller on the switch, had Stoudemire, used his quickness to come up with the steal and hoop. But Amari the answer.
Well, that's what happens. You get a smaller guy on you, you can just throw it up to him. And he just jumps over big guys. But if a small guy takes him, he just throws it up. And Steve Nash, a good job of recognition that time. Let me not throw it low this time. Let me get it up in the air.
Assist number 6 for Nash. Finley, nowhere close tonight. 2 of 8. Nowitzki on the chase down. Out of bounds, off McCarty. Dallas ball. Jonesy, what's going on?
Well, out of that last Dallas timeout, Avery Johnson imploring his troops to make the defense move a little bit more. In particular, Amari Stoudemire, they want to make him move. Says that, hey, Stoudemire's just staying right in the middle of the key, not playing defense. Want to make him play defense at his end of the floor, guys.
Tire him out, maybe draw some fouls. Amari has 1. Howard going one-on-one, trying to use his speed on Stoudemire, trying to draw the contact. No foul. Nowitzki the follow, and a foul.
I know Josh Howard's upset, but Amari Stoudemire did a great job of moving his feet and staying in front of him. This is not a foul right there, but you have to get rebounds. They are getting destroyed on the offensive glass. He's getting more shots, getting second shots. And you can't allow that. And Amari Stoudemire, as well as he's played, he's got to have more than 1 defensive rebound. Sean Marion's done a great job with 6 on the defensive glass, but he's the only one.
Look at the offensive rebounds. Dallas is +8 in offensive rebounds and lead by 3. 4.5 So we check in with the guys Times Square for the Toyota halftime show.
I want to put that in context. Oh, no. Be able to take that context.
Look out here. Some words exchanged again. Amari's trying to be cool about it, but he must be very careful because he did pick up the technical earlier in this quarter.
Well, to put that in context, my 11 offensive rebounds, we are looking close to 30 for the game. And then Michael Finley just kind of in a bad way right there. And to be able to, well, he's like, well, wait a minute. How come I got called for a foul and I elbowed somebody earlier on? Because of the jaw? That's why?
The emergence of Stoudemire. 30 points, 15 rebound minimum the last 2 games. Youngest to do that in playoff history in back-to-back games. Passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bob McAdoo, and Dirk Nowitzki on that list of the youngest players to go at least 30 and 15 back-to-back playoff games. Stackhouse fighting for position on Richardson. Richardson thought he had all ball. He's called for the foul. That is 3 on Richardson, and the one thing this team cannot afford is foul trouble, and you have it right here. They're going to have to go down the bench and bring Walter McCarty in. You have to be careful with Sean Marion and Barbosa also having 2 fouls at this point. One more for Stackhouse.
You're going to see left hand is trying to reach in and slap that ball away. That's a good play. Well, I think the reason you get upset is you get the foul called from a bad angle. I mean, how is he supposed to know? The bodies are in the way, ball's there. That's one where sometimes you just assume when he reached in, I'm going to call a foul on him because that was, if not all leather, 97.3.
And you know, if you've got 2 in the first half, you're being very conscious of not picking up that third, and you know your bench is short tonight.
Yep.
So that's why the demonstrative reaction from Richardson. 7 to shoot. McCarty tries a triple. Wow. Looks like the last game. Terry has Stackhouse on the run out. Lost the handle on the way up. And here comes Nash. Amari Stoudemire, Jim Jackson ahead. Amari backed it out of the paint.
That was a nice move, not forcing it.
And Marion short on the 3. Kept it alive. Great hustle. There's an offensive rebound. Hustle chance for Phoenix. And the lob for Marion. A foul on Terry. You can tell the angst building in the series because every call is bringing whines and complaints.
Fantastic.
See Richardson hanging his head with his 3 fouls. More coming from Marion. Now and Henderson back in, give Nowitzki a break. Avery Johnson likes to monitor Dirk's minutes and keep them at 40 or less. And Nowitzki's been on the floor a lot here in this first half. 19 minutes thus far. Avery, who took over for Don Nelson back in mid-March, told me in the Houston series he was getting about 2 hours of sleep. It's just that you get the job of your life, the one you always dream about getting, and you just max out. You sell out for it. He was only getting a couple hours of sleep, and the folks around him, the staff, even the medical staff, said, you got to get more rest. It's a long series. Foul was called in the drive. They got McCarty on the elbow, and that'll be Walter for the first time here tonight. And the bonus both ways with 3:14. Avery said now he's getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and that's all he needs this time. The coaches don't get a lot of sleep this time of year. Sleep by 1, up by 6, watching the last game over and over. Was that 1 or 2 possessions that you play the screen and roll different? That could be the difference in winning a game and winning the series.
Well, when you look back at him in his playing career when he was winning a championship with San Antonio, everybody always knew he'd be a coach. I didn't know he'd be a coach this soon. I know he gives a lot of the credit, rightfully so, to the former coach of the Mavericks, Don Nelson, for bringing him along. Not a lot of coaches would have let your assistant coach a couple of games while you were the head coach. And then he was the guy that takes over. I mean, he's done a fantastic job. Left hand again. This guy passes left, can shoot left. I mean, both right and left hand, he can just get it done with flat out.
Steve Nash has 6 and 6 assists. Stoudemire has 21 to lead Phoenix. Nowitzki on the bench leads Dallas with 12. And there's Howard inside, getting to double digits. He's second leading scorer for the Mavs with 10. But the push by Phoenix so quick. It only took 6 seconds off the clock to get a layup after a couple of dribbles for Jim Jackson. And Dallas tries to give them some of their own medicine. And Howard comes to the free throw line. Although Phoenix is the team that has run better this year, Avery Johnson said, we have to run, and we're going to run here tonight. Phoenix has a little bit of foul trouble, but they also have Steve Nash.
Well, goes left, shoots left, finishes left. This game's like gassers, except we're keeping score. Up, down, scored, got one on you, and we're going right back again.
Well, coming up on the Toyota halftime show, we're going to look out to that Eastern Conference series, which surprisingly now Indiana is in charge of. The underdog trying to do the same thing here.
Well, the pace of this game a little different than the first game. This is pretty much a score at the end of 3 quarters, I think. But the pace is good for Phoenix. They're obviously showing they can still score without Joe Johnson in the lineup. At some point, though, in this game, somebody's going to have to clamp down and get some stops.
Well, and you would expect that to be Dallas. They're a little bit better team defensively, but Dallas is dominating the offensive glass in part because they've had so much penetration. Phoenix hasn't been able to contain the dribble.
All right, we'll have more on the Toyota halftime show. Right now, back to Mike.
Thank you, John. Legs and Greg. A nice night here in downtown Dallas. Tonight's game available on ESPN HD, thanks to our friends at Phillips here in the High Technology American Airlines Center. 4th year in this building. The Mavs 2-2 in their playoff games here in this building, leading here by 1. It led by as many as 8. Phoenix by 3. Eric Dampier hit 2 field goals before you came to us as that Indiana-Detroit game was ending, but picked up 3 personal fouls. He's only been on the floor 5 minutes. Tom, much like game 1, limited production in part because of the foul trouble.
Well, I think it's all because of the foul trouble. If you want to go ahead and prorate those numbers over 20 minutes, that'd be 16 and 8. They'd be more than happy with 16 and 8. Those would be very comparable to the ones that numbers that he had in game 2. He had got himself off to a nice start, but once again, you find yourself in foul trouble, only able to play 5 minutes in the first half. But heck, 5 minutes, he gave him 4 points and 2 rebounds. I think they're happy with his effort while he was out there.
Josh Howard at the line, averaged 12.5 during the season, 13 here in the playoffs, has a dozen tonight. Not bad for the second-to-last guy taken in the first round of the 2003 draft. What a good draft pick he was. Nash goes all the way. Left hand, used the rim. Pretty reverse for Steve. The MVP has 8 with 6 assists.
You know, is it a coincidence when you look at some of the teams that are left and some of the favorites maybe in the playoffs this year, they've been able to find gems in the second round and the late first round?
Stackhouse fouled by Jim Jackson, his second. Jackson, Marion, Barbosa, McCarty all have 2 fouls. Richardson 3 fouls. So some trouble for Phoenix. Tom will have Heat Wizards tomorrow night, primetime on ABC at 8 Eastern. Heat looking to close out that series, and then now a very pivotal game 4 at Conseco at 3:30 Eastern. Our coverage will begin at 3 Eastern with the pregame. Indiana up 2-1 on the defending champions from Detroit.
Well, let's remember last year when the Pistons won a championship, they're down 3-2 to New Jersey. Had to go to New Jersey to win Game 6, then come home and win Game 7. So I don't think they're going to be phased by being down 2-1 and having to play Conseco. But I was just looking out on the court here, and I was thinking Josh Howard into the first round, Marquise Daniels undrafted. You go over to San Antonio, Tony Parker into the first round. Manu Ginobili was a guy who was drafted in the second round. I mean, a lot of this, you certainly have to make good decisions in the first part of the draft. If you don't crush, then you're going to be in trouble. But a lot of these teams, when you're smart, evaluate talent, pick up some key guys in the late first, early second, that could really move your team from a good team to a team that has championship aspirations.
Lamar Stoudemire has 23 points in the quarter. Stackhouse blocked by Stoudemire. Back to Alan Henderson. Who got that one again? And it's a jump ball. What a sequence from Stoudemire again. Look at Steve Nash urging this third-year rising star on. What a sequence.
Block, pump fake, no, go up, gotcha. A dunk and 2 blocks in the span of about 20 seconds. Now I think if I'm Alan Henderson next time, I jump back into him. I'm not going to go straight up with the ball. I'm going to try to draw a foul, because I know if I go straight up and expose the ball, he's going to be able to get to it.
Amari has 4 of those 5 Phoenix blocks.
Oh, they got him.
He discards Daniels, and hold on! One more rim attack. He has 25 points in the first half. I mean, he has destroyed Dallas this season. 5 games, he's over 30 in each game.
At some point, do you double? At some point, do you make a passer out of him? And I guess if he gets the ball that low, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Is that foul going to be on Marion? It would be his 3rd. Let's see. Sure is. 3 on Sean Marion. That's huge, folks.
Well, Marion gets around the rim. It's forget about it. There's no reason to even jump. No reason to even put yourself in a position to draw a foul unless at the end of the game you want to put him on the free throw line. But you look at the 8 of 10, 25 points on 10 field goal attempts. Now, certainly some of those field goal attempts have resulted in free throws, which he's made 9 for 12. But it's just incredible when he gets low post position. And I don't even really want to call it low post position because it's not like he's posting anybody up. He just runs down there, turns around, and gets the ball 6 or 7 feet from the bucket and either dunks it, little jump hook, or he comes flying in on the pick and roll.
Nowitzki back in for the back end of this quarter. He's had a long time on the bench. And to the bench with 3 fouls, Marion. So again, Marion and Richardson, 3 fouls. This is a Phoenix team not deep, in some foul trouble. Joe Johnson obviously not here. Another offensive rebound keeps this trip alive, and a foul on Amari Stoudemire. That will be his 2nd. And Amari got hit on the arm and is shaken up as well. I only hope that's a hit on the funny bone and not something worse.
Well, Stoudemire out on Stackhouse and just kind of riding, moving the feet. You know, those are tough calls to officiate, tough calls if you're the offensive player and you get a charge on it, or maybe you get an offensive foul. And certainly tough for Amari Stoudemire. Well, it must not have been a foul because the basketball gods just said, you know, we're not going to give you 2 points on that. Maybe we'll let you have 1 and call it even.
Amari's going to hang in there. Stack missed the first, made the second. He has 7 off the bench. Phoenix has 3 bench points. Dallas 15. Nowitzki guards him defensively. He gets there. Dirk knocked it away. Chance for a 2-for-1 for Dallas if they want it. Nowitzki looks for Stackhouse posting on Jim Jackson. And the fans rise here at the American Airlines Center. On the switch, he's got Barbosa. Take him all the way down. Rebound, Stackhouse. Shot clock is off, but they've got a break. And Barbosa, goaltending on Howard. Phoenix back on top.
You know, that was a nice job by Steve Nash. A lot of guys would pull that back out, take the last shot, but he knew they were in position to get an easy 2.
Sure.
Got it.
Nash's 9 assists. Nowitzki, last shot of the half.
Tough to eat.
Halftime. So Dallas led this most of the way by as many as 8. Little push by Phoenix. And it is a 1-point Suns lead. Amari, amazing. 25 first half points, and he is standing by with Mark Jones. Mark?
Amari, a monster first half for you. What happens in the second half with the foul trouble? How do you guys stay aggressive with some of the foul trouble you have?
We should be okay as long as we stay out of foul trouble, play good defense, and we should be in good shape.
How difficult is checking your emotions? Very physical game out there.
Well, it's not that difficult. We just got to do a better job of keeping our emotions, myself included. So I'll keep an eye on that.
How have you been able to be so successful in the paint and get deep penetration for a lot of dunks, frankly?
Well, just preparing for the game. You know, you got to prepare for the games here in the playoffs, and the coaching staff will do a great job of doing that.
Thanks, and good luck in the second half. Mike, back to you.
Mark, he had 4 dunks in the quarter. He has 95 points in the series on 52 field goal attempts. That is efficiency extraordinary.
What he was trying to say there quickly is, I don't know, I'm a freak.
Pacers up 2-1. Tiger misses a cut. Hasn't happened in almost a half decade. And destination finals. John Saunders, Tim Legler, Greg Anthony. Toyota halftime show coming up. And the show will continue in what has been the most competitive of the second round series so far. Dirk Nowitzki struggling from the field, 4 of 15. Nash has 9 assists. Stoudemire put on a show. Phoenix by 1. John and the guys from Times Square coming up after this.
Getting set for the second half in Dallas, and as we do so, how about a quick word before we get you there to that third quarter play? Josh Howard, 13 points in the first.
I love this kid's game. I mean, you think about a late first-round pick. He just has an incredible explosion, gets to the basket strong. How about Marquise Daniels as well? Wasn't even drafted. Two youngsters make a difference for Dallas.
That one down as Dallas retakes the lead. We're 61-60 as the third quarter begins.
Well, those are the type of looks they were getting in the first half. They just weren't making them. That's horrible defense.
Oh,
that is abysmal.
By the way, he's the MVP.
By Dallas standards, that was horrible.
By the way, he's the MVP, and he keeps a left-handed dribble alive. Nash walks right in and gets one. Terry tries to respond. They're now 0 of 7 from behind the arc. Same 10 that started the game, start the third quarter. Here's Stoudemire on the run. Dampier with 3 fouls, but good defense there to force the turnover. Comes Jason Terry with a little teardrop. Knocked away from Stoudemire, and Dampier keeps this trip alive.
Second chance opportunities. That's one thing that Avery Johnson, I'm sure, is very pleased with. And I got to imagine Mike D'Antoni told his team, we cannot give them 12 second chance points in the second half and 14 offensive rebounds.
Nowitzki, Marion came over for a nice double and knocked it away from the frustrated Nowitzki. Here is Sean on the other end. Rebound by Dirk. His 6th rebound to go with a dozen points. Make it 7.
Let's see if they swing the ball this time. There you go. Get the defense to move a little bit.
Dampier was fighting for position, but a 3-second violation called on Eric.
You'll see Dampier's not used to him swinging the ball. I mean, we usually shoot it by now.
Just joining us, 2 early field goals for Dampier, but as has been the case for most of the playoffs, except game 2 out in Phoenix, Dampier picked up 2 fouls right away. Nash draws the defense, leaves Marion for 3.
Well, they were both Dirk Nowitzki and Eric Dampier rolled with Amari Stoudemire. And that's the kind of respect they're showing him. What are you going to live with? Settling for a 3-point jump shot.
Nope, Avery Johnson's not going to live with it. Enough said. Marion the 3. It's only 4, but it's the largest lead of the night. The best record in the NBA team this year.
NBA playoffs on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by Hyundai and by Juicy Fruit.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Coors Light, the coldest tasting beer in the world. Chevy, an American Revolution, supercharged for 2005. And The Longest Yard, starring Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, Nelly, and Burt Reynolds. Starts Friday, May 27th, rated PG-13.
With all due respect, the real Nelly, Don Nelson, now a consultant for the Dallas Mavericks after resigning in March as the head coach, second winningest coach in the league, and turned the wheel over to Avery Johnson, who's new at it, but says, don't make that an issue.
I don't feel new anymore, you know, with the 18 games during the regular season, plus the 10 or 15 games that I coached when Nelly wasn't there. And now all of these playoff games have been so grueling. You know, if we don't play well or if something doesn't go right, I don't want it to say because the coach was a rookie coach. Just say, you know, he didn't do a good job coaching.
Come on, I like the energy. We here. We here tonight. Get out and run and have some fun.
Can you order someone to have fun?
They didn't look like they were having fun in the prior time. But now Nelly looks like he's having fun. He looks relaxed and great. Don, one of the legends in the NBA, 3,123 games, coached or played. And the willingness when he saw the team after he came back from his rotator cuff surgery and his wife's illness, Josh Howard, the hoop, he saw the team not responding to him as well as they responded to Avery. Spoke with Del Harris, said to his longtime assistant, who's Avery's assistant as well, that maybe we need to go talk to Mark Cuban.
Oh, nice pass.
Anyway, it was Stoudemire to Nash on the pick and roll that time. It doesn't work. And Avery Johnson slid over to the head coaching chair on March 19th. Here, Dallas trails by 2. Nash gets knocked down.
That was a good pick, too.
Look at the clock by Howard before he knocks Nash down. It's an offensive foul. That's a good call by Sean Corbin. Shoulder was lowered, and he barreled over the MVP. Third on Howard. Nothing's going to faze him.
Just
He's
having
seen
a
it
good
all.
time.
Seen it all.
It's a sweet orange watch he has on, though.
Martin Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, after Nelly stepped down and he accepted the resignation, said, I want Don to be the godfather of the Mavs. Nelly said, do I get to keep my season tickets? Yes. Nash, good find at Jackson. It's 2, toe on the tape. He missed it. And here come the Mavericks with Terry on Marion. Good long defense by Sean Marion, but another second chance opportunity for Dallas. Dampier has position, but he never secured the ball.
Got him.
Jimmy Jackson knocked away by Terry from behind. Good job of hustling back on the play by the guard out of Arizona. Dallas is shooting just 38% here tonight. They were a 45% shooting team in the regular season and in the playoffs. Got off to a good shooting start in the opening quarter, but have been bad here in the last 15 minutes. Jackson across the lane, well defended.
What's going on here? Teams are actually playing some D, getting some stops.
Finley was thinking about Dampier in the post, but it was defended well by Stoudemire. He was stuck in the air, thus the turnover. Nash and Amari, who are working the two-man game so well this season.
Boy, how about Amari just leading the way like a pulling guard? He just kind of ran alongside of him, make sure Dampier can't get there to him. Yeah, I'd like to see Nowitzki get a little more aggressive. About 3 or 4 tricks on the court. He had an open 17-footer that he didn't take. It's almost like he's thinking about it now.
He hasn't taken a shot here in the corner in the first 4 minutes.
Let it go.
Double coming. The find to the open man, Howard. Howard took a shot in the mouth 2 trips ago. He's been reaching up for that lip nose area, and he hasn't been sharp. Richardson a 3. Splash for Q. And Avery will take another 20-second timeout here as the Suns have their largest lead of the night at 7. Dallas, very little going on. Just 4 points in the second half.
Well, it's certainly nice to have a pulling guard when you're going to the hoop. Watch the pick by Stoudemire. Not much of a pick. It's kind of shields off Dampier. It makes it a lot easier for Steve Nash to lay it in. You know what he said? Thanks, big fella. That was cool.
Amari has not scored yet here in this second half, but doing the little things. Phoenix with the 3-pointer made by Richardson, forcing the 22nd timeout by Avery Johnson. At 6 threes made for Nash and company here tonight. None for Dallas. And for the series, Phoenix has made 14 more 3-pointers than Dallas. 7 in game 1, just 1 more in game 2. But 18-0 from behind the arc, a big difference here tonight.
I would just like to see, for the Mavericks fans, see Nowitzki get going and get one of those streaks where he just catching and shooting and not thinking about it and being ultra aggressive offensively.
Phoenix's defense has been good here. Late second and in the third. Terry rims it out. The Mavericks are 2 of 7 in the first 4.5 of the half. Nash and his best buddy Nowitzki. The lob for Amari. Here's Dirk with a block. Stoudemire keeps it alive, goes right at Dirk. Jim Jackson keeps it alive and hits.
A great job by Amari Stoudemire that time, keeping the ball alive, keeping it alive, tipping it. Looks like he might have got hit in the nose while he's going up for getting offensive rebounds.
7-0 run, 9-point lead. Nowitzki sees Jackson. Stackhouse from up top. Jerry Stackhouse has been way off here tonight.
And they are completely out of sync offensively. And you want to talk about the effort you've seen from Amari Stoudemire tonight, not just the dunks. Right here, gets the lob pass from Steve Nash, gets a block, gets a finger on it, gets another hand on it, grabs it. I think that's where he might have got hit in the nose. Takes it up, doesn't get it, keeps it alive, bouncing around. Jimmy Jackson finally gets it and converts on the deuce.
Phoenix for its first double-digit lead of the night. Marion short rebound. Nowitzki, he got slapped in the face, and finally the foul is called. That's about 3 different guys who got slapped in the face. A couple inadvertent. That was on purpose, and that's 4 fouls on Marion. Meantime, Stoudemire might have to come out here too, because he is struggling with the shot he took to the nose. No, he's just going to get a towel. So Sean Marion sits with 4 fouls.
Well, if you're Sean Marion, you realize that was a silly foul. And Dirk Nowitzki already had inside position, going to get that defensive rebound. And just to reach around for a hopeful poke out.
Offensive foul is called. Let's see. Jim Clark and Eddie F. Rush discussing. Yes, it will be an offensive foul. It's going to be on Josh Howard. They were looking at Nowitzki, but it is Josh Howard. Phoenix taking control of this game as Dallas has scored just 2 field goals in the first half of this third quarter. Richardson, another 3. This one short. Howard on the rebound. Stackhouse is freezing cold. 2 of 16 in the last 2 games. Maybe an easy one will get him going. Nice find by Howard. 7-point game.
And Darrell Armstrong in the game to provide a little bit of energy and maybe pound Steve Nash and stay in his back pocket.
There is the veteran for defense. Nash right around him to the left. And there is nobody in the middle, but he missed the layup. With Dampier out, Nowitzki in. Oh, a knockdown by McCarty on Armstrong, and the foul is called on Walter. McCarty picks up his 3rd. Daniels in, Howard out.
Well, you got Amari Stoudemire going to try to guard Marquise Daniels. I'd like to see him get the ball and maybe just take it right out of Amari Stoudemire.
They'll use McCarty on Nowitzki. Oh, the rim left free. There's 2 easy quick ones for Stackhouse. 5 points, crab back in it. Oh, nice. Beautiful screen roll. Stoudemire attacks the rim again. Dunk number 6. He has 27 points. 25 of them have come on dunks, short shots, or free throws.
That was a 10.5 on the sickness meter.
Nowitzki hasn't taken a shot yet. Is Stack free for 3? Try to keep it alive.
Numbers.
Sure do. Stoudemire, hold on. Good job by Finley to knock it away. Now Dallas has numbers. 4 on 2. Dirk to Daniels. Offensive foul. Quentin Richardson on defense.
Well, let's see if Quentin Richardson gets there. That's tough. I think he made the right call. The fans don't.
Nash dribbles through everybody, and Steve Nash has taken it out now to 16 points here on the night.
Well, that was
14.
a huge call. I mean, now they come back down and score and extend the lead out to 9. Could have been 5 and a free throw.
Finley very quiet tonight. Nowitzki tried to keep it alive. Stackhouse gets it. Finley's 3 of 10. Nowitzki 4 of 15. And on the knockdown, McCarty picks up his 4th foul.
Well, with the lineups they have in right now, they've tried to post Dirk Nowitzki a couple times. They've just come with a double team. They're not going to let him beat him down on the post. Just like with Finley guarding Stoudemire on the other end, they're double teaming right away, making him kick it out.
Take it easy, 32. Don't do it too much.
Armstrong pick and roll with Daniels. That's going to be N1. And a foul on Stoudemire. Amari's 3rd. Tommy, Phoenix is going to be in foul trouble here. Dallas's aggressiveness and attack, even though they're not making a lot of shots, is going to keep them in the game.
We talked about that early in the first quarter. It's going to pay dividends later on in the game. And right here, just to reach in, if you have a short bench, Mike, you cannot afford to commit silly fouls.
Not on Stoudemire, but McCarty, and that's his 5th with 3rd. All right, Phoenix by 7. Let's clean this up. C0, Walter McCarty. We said the foul was called on him, and that's what they said when they came over the table. Watch this. He's nowhere there. The foul should have been on Amari Stoudemire. It was whistled on McCarty. Avery Johnson went nuts, telling Jim Clark there's no way. McCarty's in the corner. It's Stoudemire's foul. And he complained and said too much. and was given a technical foul when we went to break. Now, after that, the officials got together and discussed it, and in fact, they've changed the foul. They've credited it to Amari Stoudemire. So they got it right in the end. However, it cost Avery Johnson a technical foul, and maybe his team a point in a close game.
I don't think they should. I think if they're going to change the call, if they made the mistake, I think they should go ahead and take away the technical.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Sure you can.
Nash makes it, 8-point game.
So I was going to say if he missed it, basketball gods would
I know you're thinking that. I know you're thinking that.
But no, I mean, why can't you do that? I'm sure you can't do it, but I mean, you should be able to do it. If he argues and gets the call change, and you made the mistake, and he has to get vociferous to make you believe, to point your mistake out, and you finally figure it out, why can't you change the call? Huh?
There's not common sense here in the rule book.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just black and white. Here's the deal.
Gotcha.
Dallas shooting 38%, yet within 7. Nash on the bounce, it is taken away, and here come the Mavs. Daniels all the way. Nowitzki tried the slam, missed it. Dirk is 4 of 16 tonight. Cannot get going. Nash a triple. Richardson was retreating for defense. It gives Dallas a chance. Dirk wants to score in the worst way. And now it's 5 on McCarty. Are they going to count it? I think they're going to count that basket. It does. And a chance for a three-point play.
That was a 1974 continuation right there. That was old school continuation. That very easily could have been called on the ground, gathered himself, and then went to the hoop.
Boy, Mike D'Antoni's got some issues. Walter on the bench with 5. Marion has 4. Richardson and Stoudemire 3. Remember, they have no Joe Johnson tonight after the fractured orbital bone. So lots of issues over there. Meantime, Nowitzki just made his second field goal since the first quarter. He was 3 of 8 in the first. He was 1 of 8 until that field goal went. And now it's a 4-point game.
Well, let's see if he can get it up in the air.
On the switch. Marion, that's 3. Oof. Sean Marion, another triple. He has 16.
Well, they're collapsing on Amari Stoudemire. They're not going to let him get that ball. But if Steve Nash wants to throw it to him, it's tougher to throw that bounce pass now because the smaller Marquise Daniels is switching on him, and he's got quick hands. He can get to that bounce pass.
Still an assist for Nash. He has a dozen. Trying to set up now is Daniels on Barbosa. The dive by Stackhouse. 3 field goals here in the quarter for Stack. 5-point game, 2.5 to go. Nash and Nowitzki are ending up against each other in all these switches so often. And it's so funny because they know each other's moves inside out. A beautiful find. One more time, it's Amare. 29 points, 7 dunks of his 10 field goals.
You know, it's hard for that weak side defense to get over because it happens so quick. It happens so quick and he jumps so quick that you almost have to cheat all the way to the midpoint of the half-court line and get over there.
Daniels, nice inside. So when Barbosa's seeing Daniels, they're using size. They're going right down to the little box with Marquise. Stoudemire couldn't catch the lob. Mavs a chance to get it to within 3 or 2. Daniels spinning. Not very often Mike D'Antoni calls a set play and lets them go with it. The Dallas bench forced him to call a set play here because they're putting up quite a show. Nash knocks down a 3.
And Nowitzki was saying he may have been on the line. And it was close.
Back to a half dozen. Dirk is now involved, calling for the ball, trying to run it through him. Goes right at Stoudemire. Good defensive help by Quentin Richardson, forces the turnover. Q, 3. That is Phoenix in a nutshell. Dallas worked to claw back up the mountain. Bang, bang, 2 threes. 9-point lead for the Suns.
Once again with Phoenix, you have to retreat back to that three-point line, not the paint.
Plus 27 from behind the arc. They continue the dominance in three-point shooting in this series.
This is a matchup I think they can exploit.
Nash came for defensive help. Marion kept it alive. What a stretch here by Phoenix. 2 threes. Can they bang another one? Marion trails. Barbosa. Stoudemire knocked Nowitzki down. No call. Stackhouse. Richardson the block. Shot clock is off. Will they hold for one? Avery's asking for it. Terry, the point guard, sees it. Last shot of the quarter. Go right at him. Stack. A three. Finally, the Mavericks hit from behind the arc. Still time for Nash. This is good if it goes. It was 60-59 after the second. A 28-point quarter for Steve Nash and company. 9 3-pointers, a couple here in the last few minutes. Quentin Richardson, who took more than anyone and made them. And when you question Steve Nash, the MVP, you were right, Tom, and so was Dirk. It should have been a 2, not a 3. They gave him 3. Could be an important point, but I think this one's going to tighten up in the fourth quarter. Off we go to the fourth quarter here in downtown Dallas with Mark Jones and Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico. The score there is correct. We've got a lot of corrections during breaks here tonight. It is Phoenix 87-82. And as we were heading out for the third quarter, we showed this 3. Watch Avery Johnson and Dirk Nowitzki. They see Steve Nash right away on the line for 2, not a 3. And right after the call, both complained about it. And it was corrected as they saw the replay after 3. So it's a 2, not a 3. And thus it's a 5-point lead to start quarter 4 of game 3. And for perspective, when even at 1, a best of 7, the team that wins game 3 wins the series 3 quarters of the time.
What about the game that win games 2 on the road? Don't they win like 71% of the time? So they kind of, we get the opposing percentages that go back and forth, back and forth, back
Those
and
numbers
forth.
really don't work, so we're going to leave them out.
Only use the numbers that work in your favor.
Nowitzki starts the fourth quarter on the floor. He wants to do that. He's had a struggle getting in the flow at the fourth quarter when he comes in off the bench. Stoudemire took it right at him, a miss. Finley the rebound. Nash starts quarter 4 on the bench. Stackhouse is short. Amari gets the board. It's Stoudemire, Barbosa on the point. Richardson, Jim Jackson, and Sean Marion.
Well, this is key start for the Phoenix Suns. How much time can they buy with Barbosa running the point and Steve Nash on the bench? Can they get 3 or 4 minutes and still keep the lead?
Stoudemire, free throw line jumper. Oh, he got his own rebound. And he's fouled by Daniel.
He came out of nowhere. And he's like, yeah, the ball's coming down. Maybe I'll think about grabbing it. And he just wanted it more than anybody else. He came from 15 feet away to go get that ball.
Nash sat for 3 minutes, by the way, in the first half. Nowitzki has sat for just 4 minutes in this game.
I really think Phoenix is set up well now as far as their foul trouble. Marion has 4, not a huge problem. If he gets a 5th one, let's say in the first 2 or 3 minutes, then it may be a problem. But Stoudemire only with 3, Richardson with 3, so I think they're still looking pretty good.
Amari Stoudemire will come to the line for the 14th time tonight. And the 48th time in this series. That's to go with some great production as well. Let's watch on this end who gets Nowitzki. And if it's Marion, which it should be, they go right at him.
And then we'll see if Mike D'Antoni decides to double when he gets the ball on the block, if he gets the ball. I just think you got to get the ball to your all-star.
Tight little window to fit the pass through. It comes back to Daniels. Boy, Dallas, a good shooting 3-point team on the season, struggling here in the series. And tonight, they're 1 of 12 at home from behind the arc.
Where's Phoenix going to? They're trying to get the ball to Amari Stoudemire every time down the court. I think Dallas needs to try to find Nowitzki when they get down the court.
Terry, nice shake, hit, Finley. There's one. Second 3-pointer. You know, Tom, you wonder about the MVP votes for Nash. Look at how much tougher it is to get it to Stoudemire when Nash isn't in the game. Stackhouse has him on the switch. The other part of this is Joe Johnson, who's out, is their backup point guard. And he's given them good minutes at the point during the playoffs. And
well, there you go.
Minute 42. You feel good? Good. Free to shoot for Phoenix.
Well, you make a good point, Mike, and the fact that you watch him try to get the ball to him down there, and they're not able to do it. See, when other players try to pass to Amar'e Stoudemire, the window closes much quicker. Nash can get that ball to him on the move and in tight spots where Amar'e Stoudemire can do something with it.
3 to shoot, right off the bench, right to Nash. Nowitzki the rebound with anger for the 13th time tonight. 2-point game if it goes. It goes. Jason Terry. Buckle up, this fourth quarter is going to be fun. Just as it was 2 nights ago at America West. Screen and roll off the hands of Stoudemire. Dallas can tie or take the lead. And Mike D'Antoni wants to pull the plug on this building. Timeout, Phoenix. How do you not love the playoffs? Especially when it's this good. Be right back with Big D.
John Saunders back in New York. Let's take a look at the Sprite plays of the night.
Oh, what a block from Lindsey. Hunter comes out of nowhere. Reggie fires off.
Log on to ESPN.com, keyword Sprite, to see if any plays from tonight's game make it into this week's Sprite Courtside Countdown. Mike, back to you.
John, a few by Amar'e Stoudemire will be there as well. Dirk Nowitzki was 3rd in the MVP voting in 2005, behind Shaquille O'Neal and Steve Nash. Nash and Nowitzki, former teammates here in Dallas, obviously. Good friends, and it's a reminder of how long it takes to become a good player in this league. Those two guys were not at the top of the Dallas rotation when they first got here. And they would spend lots of nights, and Steve was telling me this morning, and Dirk as well, coming back, shooting their 1,000 jumpers, playing one-on-one, talking about being the small guy on a switch against the big guy, small guy in a post-up situation, Dirk being the big guy outside, going head-to-head. And watch here in the fourth quarter how often these two friends, as they did in the first two games, on switches and these screen and rolls, end up man-to-man, head-to-head against each other in key spots in this playoff game. Terry down the lane. Stoudemire swallowed it, but it's called a goaltend, and this game is tied at 88.
You know, he thought about not doing it. He took his hand down.
Yeah, you're right.
And he just couldn't help himself.
Hey, Tom, going back to that 2 before that they switched, let me just clarify what I was saying. The officials didn't look at a replay. You can't do that to switch a 3 to a 2, where it happened at that point in the game. They discussed it and got the correct call on the board. 2, not 3. Richardson outside. Finley knocked down, gives Richardson a pass, kicks it to Nash. That's clearly a 3. And that's a 3-point Phoenix lead. You know, Dallas wants to let Nash shoot. They're okay with him taking a lot of shots. Mike D'Antoni told me this morning, he's our best shooter. They got to do a double take because of Richardson and those guys, but you know, Nash shoots at a very high percentage from the outside as well.
Oh, he's a great shooter. He just doesn't want to shoot. Doesn't want to shoot that much. Wants to get everybody else involved.
Nowitzki on Marion. First shot of the quarter is good. Phoenix attacks right away. Richardson. Jim Jackson. Nice tip for the former Dallas Mavericks draft pick.
That's what makes them tough. Get out in the open court, stretch the defense, dribble penetration. Even though you miss it, you give your teammates a chance to get on the offensive glass, and that's what Jim Jackson did.
Nowitzki hit one. Got a little size mismatch. Get him right down in the box and repost with Jim Jackson. But Marion was there for the double. It'll be 5 to shoot for the Mavericks.
Well, he's only taken 4 field goal attempts in the second half. Now, they've been doubling him down in the low block, but I've just seen some shots where usually he gets and he fires, and he's ready to rock and roll. He's always in high gear offensively, but I don't think he feels comfortable right now with his offensive game. We'll see if that last shot can kind of get him on track here in the fourth quarter. Oh, bad pass.
By Finley, and Nash comes away with the steal. Nash, Stoudemire, Richardson, Marion, Jim Jackson, left corner. Try the lob for Marion. Back comes Nowitzki for the Mavericks.
Well, that's one guy in the Mavericks you don't want to lob against.
Finley misses a 3. Another 3-point miss. They're shooting 8% from behind the arc. Stoudemire inside. Over 30 again against the Mavericks. 5 games against Dallas. All 5 he scored over 30. I don't think they can guard him. Timeout, Mavs. What is it Chris Berman and Tom Jackson say on NFL Primetime? Once is an accident, twice is a trend, 3 times is a problem. They never get to 4 or 5. I think it's just flat-out domination. Amari leading them with 32 and 10 boards. Man, oh man. Phoenix by 5.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. And Wendy's new Mediterranean chicken salad. Wendy's, it's better here.
Mark Jones and Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico here in Dallas. It is a Phoenix 5-point lead with 7:49. Steve Nash, the MVP, 14 assists, a lot of them to Amari. It's part of our Gatorade Cooler Talk tonight.
Well, that's what you don't want, Mike. You don't want him getting big points and big assists. You see, to Amari once, to Amari twice, to Amari again. It's over and over. Steve Nash to Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire with 11 field goals, 7 of those field goals directly off Steve Nash assists. Our first ballot Hall of Fame stat man, Marty Aronoff, helping me out with that. I'd be nothing without Marty.
None of us would. Wow.
And not only to get it, it's about 40 seconds. It's like, boom, got it for you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marty.
5-point game. Nowitzki's watched by Marion, who has those 4. Haven't been able to get a 5th on him. They'll go Stackhouse out of this timeout. Over Quentin Richardson. 18 points now for Stack on 5 field goals.
We'll see if that becomes a steady diet of the Dallas Mavericks if they can exploit Phoenix's transition defense. Well, that's what they were successful with last game, getting it inside post-up penetration.
Nowitzki with the turnover. It is 5-on-2. Dirk all the way. He missed it again. Stackhouse keeps it alive. Another second chance. Dirk wants it back. Got it to go. That is just flat out wanting it. 1-point game. 7 to go.
Smelling a Nash Stoudemire pick and roll here. Oh, he had a layup if he wanted it.
Jim Jackson on the take. Same team. Dampier and Nowitzki crashed for it. It was out of bounds as it touched Jackson. Dallas have a chance to take the lead. Let me quickly remind you that the WNBA season opens a week from tomorrow. The defending champion Seattle Storm take on the LA Sparks and Lisa Leslie. Seabirds team to raise the banner, defend the flag, starting 4 Eastern on ABC 1 week from tomorrow afternoon. Mavericks for the lead. Nowitzki.
That's got to be at least 4 point-blank shots that he's missed, but I like the aggressiveness. He's getting it. He's thinking score. Try to get to the rim.
Look at Nash. Stoudemire over Dampier. Dampier there defensively. Stoudemire got it back. He attacks the front of the rim like a mouse going to cheese. 8 dunks on the night of his 12 field goals.
Well, you can't jump quick enough to get up there and block it. And even if you could, you couldn't get up high enough.
Terry fumbled the catch halfway through the 4th. Phoenix +3. Nice use of the Nowitzki screen. Crossed him right over.
Nash kind of went back to his soccer days there, didn't he? Stuck the right foot out, see if he can maybe get a kick save.
His dad, a great soccer player in England. His brother, an indoor soccer player. Over the last couple of years. That time, Terry fouls him as Nash was showing the ball. Terry says it was on the pass. The official says no on the shot, and Steve will get 2.
Let me see Amari Stoudemire just initiating the contact. Then it's just a scrum, and then it's look out. And as soon as he gets the ball, you know what's coming. You know what he's going to try to do. And he leans in. A lot of his shots, you'll watch him now when he goes to the rim. He leans in on you, so you almost have no choice but to foul him or get out of the way. Because if you hold your ground, then you usually get pushed underneath the basket, and he ends up getting offensive rebounds. It's very, very tough to stop.
Nash goes 1 of 2, a very good shooter, 6th best in the league on the regular season, and that's just his 3rd miss of these 2005 playoffs. Nowitzki's taken 22 shots. He's made 7. Nash tries to double, got the ball. Dirk got it back. Amaria rebounds for the 12th time tonight. Nash sees Dampier. That's what he's great at. Keeping the dribble alive. You got it. 10 to shoot. Draws Nowitzki. Marion. Open. 3.
That was all Nash.
All Nash.
All Nash.
Oh, man.
That was just beautiful.
15 assists for Steve here tonight. Easier baskets for Phoenix. Compounded by Dallas struggling from the outside. Dampier on cleanup. Jim Jackson knocked it away. Phoenix ball.
Just nice hands by Quentin Richardson. Eric Dampier going up. See, you can't put that ball above your head or behind your head. You got to keep it in front of you. I mean, that's an equalizer. Guys behind you can reach up and slap that ball away. And as a big guy, you just got to be stronger with it. Make sure you at least get the free throw line. Oops.
Jim Jackson a 3. Timeout, Avery Johnson. As Phoenix, for the 3rd time, has come back and banged a couple of threes. They are 11 of 22 behind the arc. Compare that to Dallas, 1 of 13. 30 more points behind the line, and all Steve Nash drawing everybody in Dallas white. And they got some shooters out behind the line, too. The Phoenix Suns on the road trying to wrestle back home court advantage. +8, 4:11 to go.
The NBA playoffs on ESPN, home of the Western Conference Finals.
John Saunders in New York with a Wendy's update. Reggie Miller decides the game in a somewhat controversial play.
The referee allowed Reggie Miller to decide the game with a difficult shot. He made it. Hey, you can call an offensive foul, but maybe it's a flop. Lindsey Hunter's a great defender. You know, you can go either way on that.
And Rick Carlisle will have a chance to go 3-1 up on his old team coming up on Sunday. Meantime, Avery Johnson urging the Mavs to take it inside.
We need points in the paint.
That was the last time out. They went for some points in the paint inside. Stackhouse got it going early. Dirk wouldn't be denied a couple of times. But even though they got some easy stuff, Tom, Steve Nash said, okay, I'll take care of that on the other end.
Well, that's the problem. You work, you grind, you get your points in the paint, and then what happens? That Phoenix comes down, creates a mismatch. You're thinking, okay, we got to contain. There's 3 back. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And then the next possession, Jimmy Jackson is a 3. So all that grinding, you get your points in the paint. There are 2 threes. Just take care of your 3 possessions right there. Just cancel you out, and then some.
Leandro Barbosa has those 5 points. Our SportsCenter bottom line in as we're past midnight on the East. SportsCenter follows our game. Stackhouse not even close. Richardson the rebound.
Well, that's a tough one when you're the second guy to touch the ball. You just take it one-on-one. Don't make the defense work at all, and you end up shooting an 18-footer. This ought to be fun.
Nash on Nowitzki. They've done this thousands of times when they were teammates. Stoudemire goes right at him. Almost threw it up to get his own rebound. One to shoot. It didn't hit the rim. Got it off in time. Marion, no. The tip is in for Jackson.
He's been huge here in the 4th quarter.
Yes.
Couple tip-ins, big 3 from the corner.
2 former Mavs, Jackson and Nash, killing Dallas here tonight. +10 with 3:21. Every trip is huge. Another offensive rebound, another second chance. Finley turned away by Stoudemire. Stackhouse is short. Dallas is shooting 39%. They are 1 of 14 from behind the arc. They're 12 of 44 shooting threes in the series. So Dallas has made 12 three-pointers in 11 quarters. Phoenix has made 11 three-pointers tonight. Nash, low dribble, goes in, gets it again. Largest lead of the night. Dallas in trouble. Terry a 3. 1 of 14 shooting threes. 1 of 15 shooting threes.
Amazing. And they're actually getting some pretty decent looks. You may expect something like that to happen on the road, but certainly not at home.
Again, this is the 6th best three-point shooting team in the league during the regular season at 36%, and they're shooting 42 in the playoffs coming into tonight's game. Not tonight.
Oh, please, stop it.
Nash, the hook shot in the lane over the 7-footer. He has 25 points and 16 assists, and Avery Johnson takes another timeout. Look at Mike D'Antoni. He is all fired up.
For a game 3 on the road, a game that you need to win, people question whether this guy should have won the MVP. 25 points, 16 assists, and this ridiculous left-handed sky hook. Sweet.
High definition tonight, first in Indianapolis, then here in Dallas, thanks to our friends at Phillips. And cap off every weekend with Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN HD. You'll see the Giants and Astros this Sunday night. Steve Nash, one of the most valuable player in the NBA this season, came back to Dallas where he was a bench player, booed, now an MVP. He says, I'm the same guy. Trust me.
It's not my personality to think of myself as an MVP. You know, I've always been the underdog, so I still wake up in the morning with that mentality. I think I still wake up in the morning wanting to prove myself and wanting to, or at least get to work so that I can prove myself. So, you know, I'm not one of those people that wakes up feeling like he's the MVP and the air smells sweeter or anything like that.
And Tom, talking about the use of the left hand, you saw it in the first two there, and then took his buddy Dirk down into the paint for a little lefty hook.
That was filthy. That was just flat out filthy. He's combined for 57 points he's accounted for tonight with points and assists. And I just think it's ludicrous for anybody to question why this guy was named the MVP. Not only is he a fantastic player, but he's all about the team.
Marion gets the steal. It is a 15-0 Phoenix run here in the fourth quarter. That is just a devastating knockout at home to have somebody run 15 on you in the back half of the fourth quarter in a 1-1 game 3.
Well, Dallas knows what it's like. On the other side, they ran a 20-0 run on Houston last round.
Mark Cuban's reaction says it all. 14-point game. Jim Jackson, soft, off the window. So the Phoenix Suns come down here, have a great three-point shooting night, and are on their way to taking a 2-1 lead in this best of 7. It's a foul on Nowitzki as another 3 is missed by the Mavericks here tonight, and Avery's going to empty the bench. Miami, Washington, tomorrow night, primetime, ABC. We start our coverage at 8 Eastern. Tip time 15 minutes after. Then Detroit, Indy, game 4. Pregame at 3. Tip time 3:30. TNT Sunday night. San Antonio, Seattle. It's a 4 o'clock local start out in the Great Northwest. And TNT will have game 4 of this series, 8:30 local time here in Dallas. And the Mavericks will need that one to square the series. Game 5 of this series slated for Wednesday night back in Phoenix. Nash, runner, check please. 27 points, 17 assists. Nowitzki goes 8 of 24 on the night. And 1 of 16 shooting threes for Dallas. That's about as bad a three-point shooting night as you can have.
Well, 3 games in, we've had 2 road teams win. And we're 1 game. Stop. It's enough.
Amari Stoudemire, 36 points. As the bench gets emptied, Steve Nash, a word for Amari and the rest of the guys as they are all heading to the exits.
And Mike D'Antoni and Bo Outlaw negotiating whether he'll go in the game or not. I still think we'll get 1 more road win. Minimum.
In the series.
Out of the series, yeah. We have 2 in the first 3 games. I don't think the home court means a whole heck of a lot in this series. Both teams are very good on the road. Both have already shown they're both capable of going into the other team's home building and winning games. Tonight was just way too much. I mean, Stoudemire was awesome, but Nash was phenomenal. Some of the stuff that he did, and those 2 guys together, you know, maybe they're the best pick-and-roll combo in the game right now.
They are this generation's Stockton and Malone.
Well, and they've only been together 1 year.
I know.
Which is incredible.
And they read each other so well. Would you believe 1 of 18? Dallas is shooting 5.5% from behind the line. That is just a frightening number.
Is that a Get Smart line? Would you believe 1 for 18? Well, you got to think if percentages play out next game, they're due for about a 55% shooting from behind the arc.
You would think. Barbosa lost the handle. Darrell Armstrong hits a 2. And this set the final number here tonight at a 17-point win for the Phoenix Suns. So the team with the 7th best road winning percentage in NBA history comes into Dallas and comes up with a huge fourth quarter to retake the lead in this series. It was 87-82 and a 32-point fourth quarter for Phoenix. Dallas limited to just 20 in the final frame. And Mark Jones is with the NBA MVP.
It certainly played like one tonight, Steve. An incredible sprint to the finish line. How were you guys able to switch the momentum in your favor down the stretch?
Well, you know, we kind of stuck with it tonight. I thought in the first half we were a little bit sloppy. You know, we got a little bit of rhythm going, though. I think we realized that we could play a lot better. In the second half, we had a little more confidence, a little more urgency, and, you know, we went on our runs, which is pretty typical of our team.
How were you guys able to do what you did without Joe Johnson tonight? Barbosa was your only bench player that got significant minutes, and he only got 6.
Yeah, well, we just hung in there, you know. We're in pretty good shape, so we feel like we can play this way and we can keep playing without a bench. But, you know, we miss Joe. That's, you know, we're a much better team with him, but guys stepped up. Jimmy was great tonight. LB came in and did some good things. So we got a lot of heart, and we kept playing tonight.
What would you say to Joe Johnson? You visited him in the hospital before you left. What would you say to him right now?
Well, we miss you. You know, we miss JJ a lot. You know, he's just a terrific player. He's going to be an all-star in this league, and, you know, he makes us a lot better. He makes my job easier. And, you know, we just want him to get healthy, though. If he can play for us, great, but if he can get healthy, that's all we care about.
Steve, thanks a lot for joining us. Can I get an invite to your charity game this summer?
Absolutely.
It's in the mail. Back to you guys.
I hope not playing. Maybe they need an announcer, Jonesy. Great being with you and Tommy, Jimmy Moore, our director, Tim Corrigan, our producer, the women and men of ESPN in the truck. Wonderful to be here with you in Dallas tonight on a night where Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire proved that they are a terrific team. And you question if Phoenix can score in the postseason. They do it again over their season average. Post-game coverage continues on ESPN News and on SportsCenter next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Phoenix leads the series 2-1. They beat Dallas by 17. Here's SportsCenter.